Welcome to conversations about creativity and eco-social change. Today, I'm welcoming Kirsi Hakio to talk to us about nature-aware service design methods. Kirsi, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Kirsi Hakio. I'm a design researcher and doctoral candidate at Aalto University. And I have been doing research on awareness-based co-creation approaches. And my background is in empathic design and co-design.
Could you tell us a bit more about the island?
Yeah, Elisaari is a really nice, special place. It is a public place. It's an island that is owned by the city of Helsinki, but the city of Helsinki really don't have much role in there. There are two entrepreneurs, a local couple that is working as a custodians of the place, and since it is an island, it's partly a nature reserve. I guess that's the way you say that. So it's an island. So in the winter times, it's really hard to access the place. So mainly it's habited by the non-humans, the animals and the plants and all the nature. They really own the place. And then people kind of come part-time of the year.
And how did the project get started?
So we started with the service design angle, but soon, since the nature of the place is such that the nature is really the stakeholder and the most relevant element there, we noticed that service design is very human-centered and it doesn't really serve all the aspects that we wanted to have. And also the custodians, especially one of the entrepreneurs, is very familiar with the awareness-based systems change approach. Theory U is one of the examples. And we had this common interest. So we wanted to co-create and develop the services, and then it turned also to creating new culture where these kind of values for appreciating the interconnectedness aspects and sustainability aspects were valued. So at the same time, I had been reading about this literature about the inner dimensions of sustainability, stating that our inner world really animates our actions, and our inner conditioning and mental models and worldviews that we have, they really, even though we may not notice it, they affect how we behave, how we make decisions, how we encounter others, humans, non-humans, and really, I think they also affect how we are able to co-create with each other.
Wow, that kind of thinking about those inner dimensions, the mental models and worldviews that you brought up. How did you go about translating that into a set of workshops?
So we tried to add to these workshops exercises that would help people to connect with themselves, become present, and kind of observe what is happening inside them right now. And since we were both design researchers, we were using the most obvious things, so maybe visualizing things would help. So we tested like if it helps to visualize or write the feelings and sensations one might have when you are asked to become present and observe your inner state, kind of. We tested that kind of tools and techniques, and then we had also exercises of more drama oriented exercises where people were using their bodies and embodying roles and acting out scenarios. Maybe they are more familiar to practitioners, but it was really about trying to make the participants become aware who they were, what were they bringing with them these invisible mental layers and beliefs and aspirations and agendas. Everybody carries them. So we were just trying to make them aware that they are carrying these invisible things, and they are active when they co-create with others. Then there were workshops that were organized later in the island. And those were really the experimental ones. I remember when we were planning them, we were really happy when we discovered that we can actually use service design thinking, the mindset, to organize a workshop where the participants are not only humans. So that was kind of fun experiment where I was acting as an interviewer from a magazine, and I was asking the participants questions that were really coming from the orientation and the mindset of service design. And the participants, they kind of took roles of animals or trees, or the place has historical figures, these I don't know what's the English, Franciscan monks like Franciscus Assisian. There's a legend that there has been a more place where the monks live. And then also because the other entrepreneur is familiar with Rudolf Steiner's anthroposophy. So we added nature spirits and these more spiritual aspects of the place. And some people were not so keen on taking the role, so they played the role of a human tourist coming to visit the place. And it was really fun to see how we asked them to take the role, and we used technique like walking meditation. So when they were on the island, they were stepping on the ground, and they were asked to take the role, internalize what it might be. So really speculative exercise. And then we went to different locations, and I was asking the service design questions, like, for example, a deer or rock, were answering questions like how would they ensure that the customers would come back, and how do they see the communication, what this customer experience related things. That was interesting experiment. And another workshop was about really trying to connect with the essence of the place, the island, the special nature and the special feeling one has when they enter the place. So we had their similar techniques of walking meditation and really working as a group in silence. So trying to figure out, are we actually able to feel and sense something together without communicating verbally where to go and how to find these places in the island, if that makes any sense.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually, Kirsi. I love the range of methods that you've introduced there. Could I ask, how did those methods and techniques kind of fold back into your work with the tourism services?
And if I now think about the nature tourism services, it's really how they operate when they are collaborating with local stakeholders, or when they are considering what kind of food they are serving to customers or stuff like that. They are always very aware that the nature is the key stakeholder in the place. So they really want to respect that angle.
Kirsi, how do you think the workshop methods kind of impacted or affected the participants?
They easily have this sense of belongingness, and they see themselves as part of this interconnected worldview. And they see, and I think in that state, they want to start making changes. They want to start behaving differently. They want to, they are having experiences very difficult to explain to others, maybe, of connectedness and connecting to the place and all this kind of subjective experiences. But as the research stated, that when they enter home, it's really difficult to maintain that because the environment is completely different. So there's definitely a gap that I'm not able to fill, and it's really difficult to turn those kind of experiences into actions. But I think places like Elisaari, because I've followed them now for a long time, I see how they are living in that kind of state all the time. So I'm not sure if we are supposed to try to be in that kind of bubble for a longer time, because usually we don't have time and resources, or if we need to build our communities differently.
Yeah, I think that's a massively important question, Kirsi. And perhaps we need to do both of those things at different times. Maybe I could ask you to reflect more widely on how you think these kind of inner dimensions of sustainability, these methods for bringing forth connectedness, what potential you think they have on a wider scale to kind of sensitize people and help them to imagine more sustainable futures.
So many fields, and just commonly it's acknowledged that we need change, and rapidly. We need to shift the way we behave, how we think, how we become with each other. And I am really interested about the awareness-based co-creation and awareness-based change approaches, because I think they have interesting resources for making that change. They offer tools for evolving the self, I guess, offer tools for transforming how you perceive yourself, the world, how they transform how you think, and then maybe they transform your will also to act. And I see how I think they are one resource, not the answer to every problem, but I think definitely a resource that should be added to other creative practices working with same issues.